Now, let's go ahead and understand FORECAST.ETS, that is, Forecast Exponential Triple Smoothing. Again, for this method, the input data required is demand data. How this is done? It is an Excel inbuilt function, which is used to predict future demand using exponential triple smoothing, and it automatically considers different levels, trends, and seasonality in the historical data to generate a forecast. Let's start with the forecasting for January 2022. We will put the formula, that is, equal to FORECAST.ETS, bracket. Now it is asking about target date. So target date is nothing but the date which we want to forecast, which is Jan 2022, comma, values. Values is nothing but the values that we know. So I have selected January to December demand values, and I will lock these particular values. Then it is asking timelines. Now I will select the timeline from January to December 2021, and I will lock these values, comma. Now, in this formula, if you will see all the different components that are required, but these are actually inside the bracket. So when it is inside a bracket, it is an optional component, and it is okay to skip that. So simply, you can directly close the bracket here. Once you do that, all these optional components will be automatically get captured in the formula based on method. I will close this bracket and I will enter. So you will see the forecast for January 2022 is 267 units. When I do this formula drag to the next periods, you can see that the forecast has generated, and the good part is, since this is exponential triple smoothing, you will see it is following a particular seasonality which is based on your previous demand line. Okay, so every forecast has a different outcome, and it is represented in the lines on the right side. Now, let's go ahead and do our forecasting with the next formula, which is growth. In this particular formula, the data points and assumption is basically a demand data that is what we require to do the forecasting. How this is done? The growth formula or growth function is used to forecast future value assuming exponential growth, not the linear growth. So simply, it assumes exponential growth, not the linear growth, and hence it assumes that the data grows by a constant percentage rate over a time. Let's take an example for January 2022. If we have to do the forecast, we will put the formula equal to growth bracket, then known Ys. So what is known Ys? Here, Ys are nothing but demand data, and what are the known Ys? We have these past demands. We have the data form from cell F8 to Q8, so I will do F8 till Q8. Now, known x's. So all the x's means known periods. I will create this formula and I will also lock this particular value. Oh, in previous also, I have not locked the values. I will lock that values too. Then you have new x. New x is nothing but January 2022, and I can close this formula here. You will see the value that comes out. In this formula, you must have also noticed other parameters showing up, which was data completion, seasonality, and aggregation. These are all optional values. You can skip this for the moment, but just understand the forecasting method in simple way. If you want to understand more about these methods, we have already given what is the meaning of seasonality, what is the meaning of data completion and aggregation in our slides in this particular session. So I will close this bracket here and enter. So my forecast for January 2022 comes as 435 quantity. When I drag down this formula ahead, you will see this is growing exponentially. Okay, 435 to 453 to 469 to 488. You will see the trend line, which is going very high. It is actually going exponentially upside. So these are all forecasting methods that we have, and these are basic forecasting methods that everyone should understand and also learn how to do their calculation in Microsoft Excel. So, to summarize, we have seen that we need demand data for every forecasting method, but there are some forecasting methods where we have some assumptions, like moving average and weighted moving average. Also, exponential smoothing has some assumptions, but rest all the forecasting methods does not have any assumption beyond the demand data that we have. Also, we've seen that there are multiple limitations with naive, moving averages, and exponential smoothing method, as those methods are not foolproof if we need to do long-term forecasting, since most of them form a trend line. So, to overcome that, we have seen Excel inbuilt formulas that can forecast for any future period and do not really form a trend line and limitations. And I hope this was very clear to understand how to do this forecasting in Microsoft Excel. These formulas are very easy to understand. You can also refer our handouts that are given in this session, and these guides will help you to understand each formula in detail. Finally, unless and until you don't practice this in Microsoft Excel, you will not be able to do the forecasting of any historical demand. So, here we have understood different methods and how their outcome is coming out. I would request you to do the forecasting in your Excel tool with some random or real data that you have to practice it out. Thank you, and stay tuned for the next sessions.